Tuloy-tuloy po tayo dito sa Memo. Usaping legal na naman nagkomento ang Office of the Solicitor General na dapat ibasura ng Korte Suprema ang hiling ni Senator Bato de la Rosa ukol sa kanyang ICC arrest warrant. Kaugnay niyan, makakasama natin para tulungan tayong himayin ang mainit-init na dokumento ng OSG. Kasama natin si IBP President Alan Panolong. Magandang araw po sa inyo, Attorney.
Magandang umaga po, Willard, at sa lahat po ng ating masugid na taga-subaybay ng programa ng Billionaire News Channel.
Thank you, sir. Nabasa po namin ang pahayag ng IBP matapos mangyari ang shooting incident sa Senado at doon ay sinabi po ninyo na nababahala ang grupo sa nangyari. Ngayon po na unti-unti nang lumilinaw ang pangyayari, may mga CCTV na pong inilalabas. Ano po ang tingin ninyong dapat gawin ng otoridad sa ebidensyang makakalap nito?
Dapat po ang ating otoridad ay maglabas ng mag-conduct ng swift investigation at ilabas kaagad yung result, no? At papanagutin yung nangyaring insidente dahil ito po ay hindi katanggap-tanggap, no? Kung titingnan niyo po sa history sa history ng ating legislative halls, no, particularly in the Senate, is kauna-unahang pangyayari na merong insidenteng pamamaril sa loob ng Senado. So ito po ay nakakaalarma at kinukondena po natin yan dahil ito po ay sisira sa imahen ng ating institusyon. Ang institusyon po ng Senado ay dapat free from violence po yan, no? Regardless kung ano man yung mga political affiliations o nung sino mga senador, no, or ano mga interested party. So it should be shielded from any violence.
At sa gagawing investigasyon ng otoridad, Attorney, dapat din hubang masaklaw o masama sa investigasyon ang matataas na opisyal gaya ng mga senador at hindi lang yung mga operatiba at sergeant at arms?
Well, depende po yan sa ebidensya na makakalap ng mga investigador, no? Because to hold a person liable for any wrongdoing or for any crime would be to look into the pieces of evidence. So, yung ebidensya po, kung sino po ang ituturo ng ebidensya, talagang dapat papanagutin para po to serve as lesson for everyone, no? Hindi po ibig sabihin na kung sakali man lang, huwag lang sana kung halimbawa matataas na opisyal para makita po natin na ang batas ay wala hong kinikilala kahit gaano man kataas yung posisyon o rangko natin sa gobyerno. Kung sakaling ito ay aktor doon sa nangyaring krimen, ay dapat mapapanagot po.
Oho, at syempre pinag-ugatan nung shooting incident sa Senado ang ICC warrant laban kay Senador Bato de la Rosa. Tingin ho ba ninyo ang kasong ito ay tungkol sa sovereignty o ito ay tungkol sa accountability sa ilalim ng international law?
Base po doon sa komento ng Solicitor General's Office, no? Ito ay base sa accountability, no? Kung babasahin mo yung prefatory statements nila, talagang napaka-rhetorical at dramatic. Binabanggit po nga doon, because of prolonged call for accountability, yung victims sought for relief before the International Criminal Court. So this is not more of a sovereignty, I believe, no? Doon sa base doon sa komento ng Office of the Solicitor General. So sinasabi nga nila doon na this is more of an obligation of the Philippines as a sovereign country which adopts international laws as part of its laws, no? That is under Article 2, Section 2, if I'm not mistaken, of the 1987 Constitution. Pangalawa, meron po tayong domestic law for this matter, no? Yung binanggit po nila yung RA 9851. At ang panghuli, base po ito doon sa customary international law. Alam mo po yung pong genocide, yung mass killing, no, yung mga crimes like that are part, no, part yan ng customary international law na nare-recognize ng ating bansa bilang isang sovereign country na we adhere to international laws. So, tatlong basehan po nila doon sa kanilang komento. na kung saan sinasabi nila na this is not more of a sovereignty issue.
And do you agree with that, sir?
I would like to decline to give my own position on the matter because the case is already pending with the Supreme Court. So we are explaining and we are trying to educate the public about the comment of the Office of the Solicitor General's comment with respect to the case.
All right.
So meron po tayong principal kasamang Willard, no, yung sub judice. So we cannot give our own personal opinion with respect to a pending case before the court.
All right. Does the Philippines attorney still have that legal obligation to cooperate with the ICC sa kabila ng pag-withdraw natin sa Rome Statute?
With respect to that OSG's comment, yes. So kailangan it doesn't mean that the Philippines withdrew from the Rome Statute, then it can't anymore ignore the legal obligation because under the ICC itself, no, dun sa provision itself, it will not actually escape, no, yung the state party will not escape yung taong nakakommit ng crimes, no, during the existence of our membership as a state party of the Rome Statute. So it will not actually diminish or extinguish or even shield the any actors against crime against humanity. So yun po ang sinasabi doon.
Oh. Can the Philippines, relatedly, attorney, still legally enforce this ICC warrant without a Philippine court-issued warrant?
Based on the arguments, yes. It can still, as I said, yung mayroon po tayong legal obligation. Na-mention po natin yung tatlong basehan. Number one is yung pong obligation under the Rome Statute na kung halimbawa, nag-withdraw nga tayo, but yung crimes committed during the inexistence of our membership as a state party, doon sa Rome Statute, hindi po mawawala yan. Pangalawa is yung pong ating constitution, nagsasabi mismo that international laws form part of our local laws. This is what we call the doctrine of incorporation. And number three is yung pong customary international law.
At attorney, needless to say, ang kasong ito ay magiging isang mahalagang precedent na pagbabatayan sa mga future international investigations na kasasangkutan ng mga opisyal natin dito sa bansa.
Opo. It will enrich our jurisprudence, especially so that, given the issues, no, I think the Supreme Court should really come up with a decision that will put to rest the issue.
Oo. And yung kawalan po ng TRO mula sa Korte Suprema, tingin ho ninyo this signals anything about the position of the court?
In my experience, if really the case calls for an urgent act from the court, no, in order to save lives or to prevent the happening of an injury or danger, normally the court issues a TRO. Ngayon, if the court is usually torn between the issues, no, or it has to thresh out some issues, gusto muna niyang ipakomento yung parties, lalo na yung the one seeking relief, no, the one asking for TRO, para makita niya kung sufficient basis ba yung kanyang hiningi, no, yung kanyang hininging relief for the court in order for the court to issue the TRO. So chances are, based on my experience, I'm speaking based on my experience, pag hindi po nag-grant yung TRO, baka parang 50-50. But we cannot speculate. At the end of the day, it is the court, the Supreme Court, who will settle this issue.
At wala hong specific at fixed timeline ito, attorney, ano?
Ang normally kasi ang TRO, if it's really urgent, upon filing of the application for TRO, and of course, with the compliance of the requirements, kasi kailangan mag-post ng bond, no, for normally, yun yung proseso eh. Then, talagang pag may extreme urgency, the court grants. Now, pag hindi siya nag-grant kaagad at medyo napatagal, so meaning to say, yung TRO, malabo na.
Oh. At gaano kahalaga, sir, ang paglalarawan ng Office of the Solicitor General kay Senator De La Rosa bilang isang allegedly evading the lawful process o iniiwasan ang prosesong legal? Ito ba ay may impact doon sa magiging pagtingin ng mga justices ng korte?
Well, yung mga abogado kasi, Willard, may kanya-kanyang estilo yan sa pagsusulat. Eh. So, napansin ko nga yung comment ng OSG was a mix of a rhetoric and legal principles and application of relevant laws. So, magandang pagkasulat niya, no? Magandang pagkasulat. And, of course, any pleading for that matter, especially tulad na ganon, it may somehow a persuasive effect, probably.
At ang desisyon ng executive branch na galangin ang proseso at wag munang kumilos para ipatupad ang warrant, tingin niyo ho ba nararapat lang ito habang dinidinig ng SC ang petisyon?
Oh, magandang katanungan yan, Willard, no? But take note, the Supreme Court gave 3 days, no, or 72 hours to respondent Senator Bato de la Rosa, to comment on on that comment by the OSG. So after 72 hours, wala pang nailalabas na TRO. So the executive has the option whether to implement the ICC warrant or not. So nasa executive pa rin yun, because only a TRO can actually stop the service of any warrants. So ganun po yan. In the absence of the TRO, the legal and judicial processes shall continue. Ganun po yun.
Kumbaga nasa prerogative na ho ng executive branch, attorney?
Opo, nasa kanila na po yan.
Bukod ho dyan, tingin niyo ho ba ay dapat mas manghimasok pa ang executive branch pagdating sa ganitong usapin, lalong-lalo na kung ang nakasalalay ay international law?
Well, they have to be consistent with their position. So if they really want to hold accountable whoever that person may be, then they have to exhaust all the available legal and judicial remedies, no? Kasi kung ang bola nasa kanila, isi-shoot na lang nila, why don't they shoot? Ba't pa sila maghihintay ng oras na aabutan sila ng 3 seconds? So, by analogy, ganun po yun.
Oo. At sa tingin ninyo ay gaano ba kasensitibo ang kasong ito para sa administrasyon?
Well, this is very sensitive really, because the other camp is looking at it as a persecution. No, but as far as the executive, this administration is concerned, ang position niya is an implementation of a warrant issued by an international criminal court, and being a country which adapts to international laws, no, or adheres to international laws as part of its laws, so it is merely implementing said warrant. So ang punto nila is this is prosecution, no, in the regular course of the duty of a sovereign state to cooperate with a legal order coming from an international court. So, and at the same time, holding accountable the person who is being charged as such. So, yun po yung nangyayari dito. So, of course, the others would say, no, this is persecution because, Senator Bato is from the opposition. And, of course, they allege that since we already withdrew from the Rome Statute, bakit ba kailangan pa natin mag-cooperate sa ICC? So, these are very interesting conflicting views that me, myself, and practically all of our legal practitioners are very interested of what will the Supreme Court will actually say about this.
At sa ganitong mga pagkakataon, attorney, kung saan nakasalalay ang checks and balances ng mga branches ng government, hindi maiiwasan na pag-usapan kung ito ba ay hahantong sa isang constitutional at political crisis?
With respect po to the impeachment or doon sa service of ICC warrant kay Bato? Or both? Both po?
Both, yes.
With respect to the impeachment, if the Senate will not act or accordingly, well, it will really definitely, it will rise to constitutional challenge or constitutional crisis, because take note that the House of Representatives has fulfilled its mandate of initiating the impeachment, no, to hold accountable the Vice President for alleged wrongdoing. So now the ball is with the Senate. If they prolong the conduct of the trial, then it may be perceived as a defiant or a reluctance on its part to undergo the impeachment trial. So definitely, pag ganun nangyari, it will rise to a crisis. But you know, this impeachment has dalawa po ito eh. First, this is a political act, and second is public accountability. And kung tingin po ng Senado is that since they are by nature, the Senate is really political, this is purely a political activity among them as politicians. Well, as far as ordinary Filipino like us, we call it as a call for public accountability, no? So if the person being impeached is innocent of the charges, then the trial shall go on so that he or she can prove his or her innocence. Now, in the same manner, kung talagang may evidence to really hold the impeached officer liable for the wrongdoing, then the Senate, no, the Senate, all the more that's the Senate that should act or should fulfill its constitutional mandate. So ganun po yun, no? The Senate should not view this merely as political, because it will even cause an impact in the institution, no? So it will really rise to a constitutional crisis.
Panghuling tanong, Attorney, ano po ang balak at planong gawin ng IBP habang umiiral at umusad itong impeachment trial sa Senado?
Napakagandang katanungan, Willard, no? We are actually preparing also our committees, no, our office, to closely monitor the situation. In fact, I asked our National Executive Director to write a letter to the Senate President to allow us to observe, no, or to give us at least 2 or 3 seats in the hall, no, where we can observe. And in the meantime, we will also take advantage of the social media. We will have our podcast to discuss the issues, no, surrounding the impeachment. So we will keenly monitor this, no, and we will speak and we will act should we find anything which is affront to the Constitution or affront to the rule of law. Yun po yung aming ginagawa ngayon sa Integrated Bar of the Philippines.
Abangan ho namin, Attorney, yung podcast sa YouTube ba at Facebook page ng IBP ito?
YouTube and Facebook page, no? Magpapaturo kami sa iyo, Willard, ha?
Sige, sir. Kape tayo.
Yeah.
Maraming salamat po, IBP President Attorney Alan Panolong.
Maraming salamat din po at mabuhay po tayong lahat.